Now.
On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
There's a Babylon Bee headline that caught my eye today. It said, desperate media begs Trump for a day off. Not going to happen. It's 5:07. We're not asking for a day off. We're loving the energy. We're loving the excitement. And we're loving week 2 of the Trump administration, and we got you covered 6 ways to Sunday, as Chuck Schumer would say. Coming up at 6:35, Mark Fisher, Maryland State Delegate, tell you what's going on in Annapolis. Bottom line, Marylanders, hold on to your wallet. The Democrats are in charge. 7:05, Dr. Kevin Roberts of Heritage Foundation. 8:05, our buddy Michael Walsh has a brand new book out today. He's not the only one. Also at 8:35, Julie Kelly on the J6ers. It's Larry O'Connor, and I'm told that Julie Gunlock is here as well, but I think that's just a rumor. Oh, she is here. Look at that. Hello, Julie Gunlock. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How's your 24 hours been since we last spoke?
Exhausting.
Better than Selena Gomez?
Oh, much better.
So Selena Gomez, she's a former Disney star, right? My kids used to watch her in that Witches of Waverly Place. That was the name of the show.
No.
Wizards, sorry. Well, she was a witch. They're all wizards. You know, I mean,
yeah,
it's
got it.
Was it Wizards
That was a
of
little
Waverly
bit
Place?
before. Yeah, my kids never watched that.
Before your kids' time.
Yeah.
My kids right in the wheelhouse of Wizards. I remember watching the show with my children. And it was obviously Disney's way of sort of glomming onto the Harry Potter phenomenon, saying, "Hey, we need a Disney Channel sitcom. Let's imagine there are wizards living in New York. Hey, and we'll make it wacky and warm-hearted." And it worked. It was fine. Anyway,
that was before
launched.
That was before the trend of making every other witch a transgender witch, right? So it was safe to watch.
I don't remember a transgender storyline in that show.
Probably
no, I
safe to
don't.
watch.
There could have been one, and it was just too subtle for me to pick up on. You never know.
Maybe.
Let's face it. Generally speaking, witches and wizards kind of gay. In general, so that could have been just sort of. It could have been some sort of subterfuge. Anyway, Selena Gomez then, as all Disney stars do, launched a music career and suddenly looked like she was a drugged out whore. Because, that's what happens when you're a Disney star. Well, it's true.
You got a lot of sleep last night.
What? Sure, yeah. What? 1 minute you're, America's sweetheart, and you're wholesome, and you're like everybody's, oh, I wish you were my daughter, I wish you were my sister, and then the next thing you know, you're a drugged out whore. That's what she was. That's the Disney
The
path to
accent helps.
fame and fortune.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
Then she's dating Justin Bieber.
Boy,
remember that whole thing?
He dodged a bullet. Oof.
Oh, I don't know if that's
really?
She's gone through a lot.
Oh, please. What's she gone through?
It's not like Justin Bieber was a great catch.
I'd say.
She may have dodged a bullet herself. Okay. You never know what was going on.
Why are you on Selena's side?
I'm just saying.
Let's get to the story.
I'm just not going to be on Justin's side is all I'm saying.
Oh, I'm totally Team Justin. Are you kidding?
Lately, she's been enjoying fame and fortune yet again because she's riding on the coattails of two comedy legends, Steve Martin and Martin Short, in the very funny and well-written and entertaining Only Murders in the Building on Hulu.
Larry, you recommended that, and I take your recommendations very seriously because we are very similar in sort of our tastes on entertainment. I could not get through 3 episodes. And you know why? Because of her.
Mm-hmm. Because of Selena Gomez.
And I'm not just trying to be newsy right now. I couldn't take it. She's annoying. Anyway, go on.
Well, the character is annoying. I understand that, but it's worth it for Martin Short, Steve Martin. But if you were annoyed by Selena Gomez throughout the entire career path I just painted for you, up until Murders in the Building, then you're really going to be annoyed by her latest stint on Instagram, where she decided to post a selfie video of her crying her eyes out.
Oh, I mean,
because murderers are being deported in this country. Here's cut 1, Selena Gomez, and maybe her greatest performance of her lifetime.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children.
The children.
They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I
The little baby rapists and murderers. The child murderers.
Did she really say my people?
My people.
Isn't she from Texas?
She was born in Texas. She was born in Texas.
Are they deporting Texans?
Yeah, but also they're deporting.
I'd be down with it.
What are you like? Do you hang out with murderers and rapists? Well, possibly, probably. Maybe she went to P. Diddy parties. I don't know, but
yes, that's true. She could have gone to a P. Diddy party.
I mean,
that's a good
who
point.
knows? But
I wish I could do something, but I've got an appointment at the salon today.
She dated Justin Bieber. She probably did go to P. Diddy parties.
My favorite thing about this administration is something like that happens. And, normally it's like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. But no, this is something that gets into the cultural zeitgeist and people, discuss it and it has influence, I suppose. So this administration dispatches Tom Homan, the border czar.
Mr. Sensitive.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Tom, you want to give her a hug?
I just want to tell you that what you're about to hear is my father's response to every time I started crying when I didn't get what I wanted. This is classic.
I want to believe that Trump picks up the phone and says, hey, Tom, yeah, that Selena Gomez, yeah, I don't know much about her. Barron tells me, yeah, she's crying. Could you handle this, please? So he goes on Fox News and he handles it. Here's Tom.
She posted a video sobbing. She was crying in it. She said, all my people are getting attacked with the picture of a Mexican flag. Again, she has now taken that down. But what do you say to those who are out there saying that these are everyday people, these are families that are being attacked and dragged out of their homes? How do you respond to that?
I don't think we arrested any families. We've arrested public safety threats and national security threats, bottom line. And look, President Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border last 4 years is the biggest national security threat this country's seen, at least in my lifetime, because we got over 2 million known gotaways. We got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got a record number of terrorists crossing the border on the terrorist watch list. We have 250,000 Americans dying from fentanyl coming across the open border. We're going to do this job, and we're going to enforce the laws of this country. If they don't like it, then go to Congress and change the law. We're going to do this operational apology. We're going to make our community safer. We're going to save. Once we lock that border on continuous operation, you're going to see fentanyl deaths decrease, illegal alien crime decrease, sex trafficking decrease. It's just all for the good of this nation, and we're going to keep going. No apologies. We're moving forward.
I'm only sorry that he didn't refer to her as a drugged-out whore. But other than that, it was kind of...
Larry, in all seriousness, though, and I am serious here, there are probably a lot of people, not as famous as Selena Gomez, regular folks, regular leftist women. Okay, I'm talking about Del Rey, who are doing this exact thing. My neighbors, who are doing this exact thing, crying, wringing their hands, clutching their pearls, what have you. And it's because the leftist media is telling them that families and children... We had a story that was debunked that, ICE showed up to an elementary school. Okay, it turns out it wasn't ICE, and it wasn't related to that. But there is a media narrative, whether it's The View or CNN or MSNBC, that is saying that people are being rounded up, right? So, we can make fun of Selena. I mean, you wrote about this. Your book, you covered this.
The media is lying. The media is lying again, and they create a narrative. Well, and as our friend Amber Duke, former Athey, said on Twitter, to Selena Gomez, no tears for Laken Riley, no tears for Rachel Morin, no tears for Jocelyn Ungari or any other American. You talk about children. What about the child in Texas who was abducted, raped, and murdered?
What about the 300? What about the 300,000 children?
No tears for the missing children.
Yeah.
No tears for women and girls raped on their way to the United States. No tears for the migrants who died as a result of human trafficking. No tears for the women who are being exploited by the coyotes on a regular basis over the last 10, 15 years. No tears for them. Tears for laws being enforced in this country. Well, that's Selena Gomez, and you're right, Justin Bieber did, in fact, dodge a bullet. It's 5:15, WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes first on the 5s.
WMAL. Making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios.
Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
I'm sorry, Julie. I think we buried the lead in that whole segment. Did you say that I wrote a book?
You did.
Oh, but wait. When does that book come out?
Doesn't it come out to...
I should never ask a question.
God, yeah, don't do that.
You don't know the answer to. That would be today. Today, the book is released today. Today is release day for Shameless Liars.
Oh my gosh.
Shameless Liars, how Trump defeated the legacy media and made them irrelevant. And that dovetails right into this story. Think about this. I wrote a book about the media's historically deceptive coverage of the 2024 election. I detail and chronicle every lie they told about Trump and the lies they told to cover up for Joe Biden and Kamala. A good chunk of it is about all the lies they told on behalf of Joe Biden to make him look good and Kamala Harris to look good. It's about the freedom of the press. It's about the histrionics from the media and reporters. And here we go. On the day that my book comes out, it's been announced that Jim Acosta is leaving CNN.
No, Larry, it could be because your book came out.
Well, I don't know about that.
Because your book came out. Well done, Larry.
It's a beautiful confluence of events.
Yes, it is.
Jim Acosta is now leaving CNN. So here's what happened. First of all, they laid off what was the final number? Wasn't it close to 200 people they laid off last week? They shuffled around their lineup. Apparently he had I didn't know it was a regular show. I thought he was just like a fill-in mid-mornings, but apparently he had a regular show late morning on CNN. And they've now moved Jim Acosta to the coveted midnight to 2 a.m. slot.
Grief.
Well, listen, let's not forget Greg Gutfeld's career, which is going pretty well right now, began when he was given a slot at 2 a.m. He was given 2 to 3 in the morning on Fox News, and he turned that into a absolute empire. He's got 2 primetime shows right now on Fox News. So, Jim shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. I find him very funny. He could do something hilarious at midnight, do a late-night comedy show or something. But Jim wants to be taken seriously as a serious journalist, so he decided rather than be relegated to the midnight time slot, he's walking. And, boy, I just cannot wait for his podcast. How great is his podcast going to be?
Yeah, and I have no doubt that he has these images of being the next, sort of the left's Megyn Kelly, like going out on his own, starting his own.
Yes.
Yeah.
He lacks a little bit of what Megyn Kelly brings to the table.
A little bit.
I'll set that aside for now.
He looks, I think that one thing that, Megyn Kelly and a lot of those who have gone out on their own, what they bring is sort of this joyful warrior. They're often very funny, but they also cover politics so seriously, but they don't take themselves so seriously. There's a bit of, again, humor and fun when you watch those shows, and he is humorless. You watch him, which I don't very often, but I see clips. He's just grumpy. He's just a grumpy person. And
well, he's like a caricature of a teleprompter reading haircut newsman.
Yes.
And they all sound like this.
Yes.
They all use a voice like this, and they all want to talk like this because this is what they learned in journalism school, and this is how you're supposed to talk.
Yeah, and again, Jim Acosta wasn't put at that midnight to 2 a.m. to attract, the people who've had a few drinks and looking for some fun entertainment on television. No, he was stuck there. It's like a cubby hole with,
this
Hunter
was CNN's
Biden's
plan.
Cocaine,
they wanted him to quit.
Yeah.
They couldn't fire him, and so they wanted to put him at midnight to force him to quit, and that's what he's done. It's hilarious. Yes. And I bet he's going to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and no one at CNN will refer to it as hush money. But it will be, I promise you, he's going to be getting hush money in exchange for a non-disclosure agreement, just like Stormy Daniels did. I don't know if he did exactly the same. Well, so Jim Acosta is leaving, and they're doing that because they had to move Wolf Blitzer's show to his slot at 10 a.m. because Wolf Blitzer's show was doing so well, I guess, later in the day. And what they're doing is they're saying they're reshuffling their lineup. They're reshuffling.
But this is what
it's literally changing the deck chairs. Yes. That's exactly what it is.
They never think, Scott Jennings gets an awful lot of attention on social media. His clips kind of, regularly go viral. They never think maybe we should bring in more Scott Jennings opinions or give Jennings his own show. Maybe that announcement's coming. I don't know. But,
not repel half of the American people by calling them hateful bigots.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should just report the news instead of characterize our audience in such a negative way. Maybe actually give them a voice. No, that's not going to work. Here's the thing. This happened. The announcement came 3 days after the inauguration of Donald Trump. Here we are a week into the presidency. My book comes out, and Jim Acosta is gone, and everyone's saying, oh, God, you see, this is the threat to the First Amendment. Trump is there, and now Jim Acosta loses his job. Everybody thinks this is Trump's fault, and I think that's exactly what they should think. Yeah. I think that's you know what? I want every reporter to think that if they act like Jim Acosta, they're going to be fired. And that will improve media overnight. Everyone should read my book.
Well, that's true.
That would help, too. It's 5:23.
Now.
On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It is 5:37. It's O'Connor and Company this Tuesday morning, 28th day of January. Coming up later at 6:35, Mark Fisher, who's a Maryland state delegate, talk about, Westmore's ambitions to be Martin O'Malley. That's what it appears, at least. 7:05. He's going to tax the rain. I'm telling you, this guy's going to figure out a way to tax the rain. 7:05, Dr. Kevin Roberts of Heritage Foundation. Give us a look 1 week into the Trump presidency. 8:05, our buddy Michael Walsh has a brand new book out today on military history. Cool book. And then at 8:35, Julie Kelly will join us, latest on the January 6th pardons. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. I'm curious, Julie. My first question to Julie Kelly. Now, what are you going to write about? I mean,
well, I know
she's been singularly focused for 4 years on January 6th and the legal wranglings and it's she got the pardons. It's over. Yeah, she did it.
Well, Julie has proven.
Well,
herself.
we got to find out who did what. Is what we got to do.
Well,
yeah,
that's true. There's a lot more to report on.
Who did what, and will they go to jail? Let's see. By the way, not uncoincidentally, along that same line, Kash Patel is set to have his Senate confirmation hearing this Thursday. We just mentioned Tom Homan. You just mentioned Tom Homan, and I want to get to. Don't forget. Tom Homan has a word or two for the governor of Illinois who's spreading this lie about ICE going into an elementary school to round up children. We already told you yesterday that was a lie, but Tom Homan is going right after the governor because the governor's spreading that lie.
He's making Serena cry or whatever her name is.
He's making Selena.
Selena.
I believe it's
whatever.
Selena Gomez. Yes. All right, and now Tom Homan is everywhere. Tom Homan brought along an embedded reporter on one of the immigration roundups. It was Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil wanted to know how everybody was feeling when this all went down. So here's cut 3 with Dr. Phil and Tom Homan on the deportations.
Straight up, are you going into schools and arresting children at schools?
No.
Is anything like that happening?
No, sir.
Are you going into businesses and sweeping through there and taking anybody with a tan and seeing where they're from?
We go into businesses for a criminal enforcement operation, but again, sweeps don't occur anywhere.
The sweeps are not occurring. You're just not going in like seining for fish in a pond and just picking up. You're going targeted. If a criminal is working in a business and you have to pick them up there, you're going in for that target.
Absolutely.
You know what? This is a reality show I would watch. Tom and Phil. Tom and Phil on the road. And it gets even better because they did sort of a To Catch a Predator kind of thing with the shaky hidden camera.
And cops.
Went after. And look what, cops. And look what happens when one of the illegals recognizes the fact. It's like, oh, damn, I got caught and now I'm going to get deported. It's like, hey, you're Dr. Phil.
I also do love Homan, saying Dr. Phil's coming straight out and asking a clear question. Are you going into schools and arresting children at schools? And Homan's like, no. Let's be real, folks. And, I hope Selena's listening. They let so many murderers and rapists and thieves and just plain old bad people into this country that Homan's gotta get those folks first. That's going to take a while. Yeah. So when you see these things, we can guarantee we haven't gotten around to sweeps and other things like that because we've got so many horrible people to find and deport.
And the key thing here is arresting children. But if Dr. Phil said, are you going into schools? The answer should be, well, if there's a murderer or a child molester there, yes, we'll go into a school.
Yes.
but not to round up kids. Here's cut 4 when one of the dudes being arrested recognizes that he's being arrested by Dr. Phil.
What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? You have a first and last name.
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
You been deported before from the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
But I've been in the system before.
BNB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been charged with
Charged for?
before?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna talk about lawyer.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom's a citizen.
Your mother's a citizen?
Yes.
But you're not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children. And he's walking the streets of Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents. This is what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Hold on. I was told that people are coming here for a better life and to make money for their children and their families. This guy, first of all, his mother's a citizen and he's not. He comes here to hang out with mom and he's molesting children and he's got enough free time in the middle of the day to watch Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
He should be #1 on the deportation list.
He should be. And I honestly,
he's not working.
I have to say that if you had told me a couple of years ago that Dr. Phil would be out there with Homan arresting illegals and questioning, I would have said that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Over
Wow.
Oprah's dead body.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I find it refreshing that somebody over at DHS decided, you know, it would be a good idea. Let's bring Dr. Phil along and actually show what's really going on as we deport these things. It's only 1 week in, and we got Dr. Phil out there.
And
with
again,
Tom
the
Homan.
narrative of they're going into schools, they're arresting children is this idea, they're going to push this narrative that children are afraid. You know what scares kids? Murderers, rapists, pedophiles. That's what scares kids, including
This
kids
guy
who might not
what's
be here
scary.
legally. That is scary. And this is effectively going to save those kids from these types of predators. That's what's good.
It's 5:43.
The WMAL Free Speech Forum, the first 100 days, Sunday, April 27th at the Birchmere. Details at WMAL.com.
Well, we are 1 week in, and we now officially have a Secretary of the Treasury. His name is Scott Bessent, 62 years old. And, of course, he needs to face a lot of things immediately. A lot of people want to see prices come down. We'll see if his policies can work with the Fed and bring some adjustments to interest rates that might affect the price of everything. And inflation, of course, energy policy is going to be a part of what he works with. He also needs to work on the federal debt limit issue with congressional Republicans. Trump would like to see that taken care of and off the plate so it doesn't have to be dealt with again. And also he wants to extend the Trump tax cuts, which are set to expire at the end of this year. So there's a lot for the Secretary of Treasury to do, and he's now officially 100% in the job. He got confirmed. So things are moving along quickly here for his cabinet.
Yeah, I think the most shocking thing is for a president who wants to, jail all gay people. It's really strange that he nominated and is now confirmed Bessent to be the Treasury Secretary. He is openly gay, so kind of a head scratcher there for the libs, who again constantly say that Trump hates gays and is going to jail the LGBT community. A little bit of an inconvenient fact for them.
I think that's a fair point. Although also you might not want to say it too. He doesn't talk about it all the time like Pete Buttigieg does. So maybe that's how it sort of flew under the radar.
Yeah, maybe Trump doesn't know
because he doesn't start every interview with "I'm gay." Here's my very squirrely boyfriend, and we're going to breastfeed our baby in front of you now. That might be why. It's like. It's every American's dream come true that somebody has just been nominated, confirmed for this one of the highest positions and most historic positions in our country. Goes all the way back to our very first presidency, the Secretary of the Treasury, and that would be Alexander Hamilton, who also was not gay but was a Broadway musical performer, and And he did the entire process, the entire nomination process, the interviews, the confirmation, and they didn't talk about who he likes to sleep with much. It's amazing. It's actually the normalization of these things. But I will tell you this: if he were a Democrat, it would be headline news.
Yes, it would.
It would be everywhere. It would be the only thing you knew about this guy. So I think we're doing it right here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, speaking of Pete Buttigieg and his squirrely little boyfriend,
Husband.
Sorry, husband. I forgot they got married. Mm-hmm. I'm using quotation marks with my
Doing
fingers.
the Chris.
They are married.
Plant. I'm doing an air finger.
Sean Duffy is set to replace Pete Buttigieg, and his confirmation vote will be today. He seems to be flying along through. I have to say, Sean Duffy, I knew he was a congressman from Wisconsin for a while, and he's very good on television, as he hosted a couple of shows on Fox and Fox Business, along with his effervescent, incredibly bubbly wife. But I saw some of his confirmation hearing. He knows what the hell he's talking about, and he's ready to get in there and fix things and actually focus on stuff other than what did Pete Buttigieg's big thing was? Some of these bridges and overpasses in the cities are racist.
Yes.
Racist bridges. We're not going to be focusing on that much. It's funny. Sean Duffy, as Secretary of Transportation, is very concerned that airplane doors are flying off mid-flight.
Yes.
That's a little more important.
Maybe because he has 40 children or something, he's concerned about how airlines now advise you not to put the baby on your lap because they might get sucked out of the plane when the door flies off.
Yeah, that could be part of it. Meanwhile, tomorrow will be the long-awaited confirmation hearing for the nominee for Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, and then Thursday will be Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel. I saw a poll yesterday, CBS News, Reuters poll, I believe it was, where they broke down Trump's popularity right now is insane.
Yes.
The net positive number is better than any other president in the second term, although that's partly because it was so low in his first term, but that's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And also they asked, what do you think of the transition? 60% of Americans believe that the transition is going well and they're in favor of the transition. And they were asked specifically about nominees for the cabinet. Do you know who had the highest rating among Trump voters, Trump supporters in the cabinet?
No.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is more popular as Secretary of Health and Human Services with Trump voters.
There is a reason.
Than Pete Hegseth
This is not a surprise.
Than
what
Marco Rubio was.
Look, there is a reason. It is because what we went through as a country during COVID, how they lied to us. And then they didn't just lie to us, but then the left said, let's just get past it. Let's just, just move on, right? There were no apologies. And there is this smug, you're not going to get me, right? Fauci walking around with his limousines and his speaking fees, making millions of dollars. People died in the hospital without saying goodbye to their families. Children suffered, still are suffering. And there was no accountability. So you got Robert F. Kennedy here saying, oh, no, we're really going to break down what's going on here. Yeah. And there is going to be accountability.
It's amazing.
So, of course, he's popular.
90% of Trump supporters are in favor of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is the most popular cabinet nominee for the new Trump administration. His hearing begins tomorrow. Right now, it's 5:53.